So this past week has been crazy. Didn't really care about my appearance. I was wearing buns like 7 days, for 7 days. I thought it was cute, you know, Rachel with the slick back bun. But I was doing it so much that just like the curls were dying. Curls were withering. I was like, can I even bounce back from this? I was wearing socks and sandals. Really just did not care. This week is gonna be the best week ever. I'm putting into the universe. I cannot have another repeat. It's a little played out. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to the crew, and if you're back, I mess with you. So today I decided to just kind of chill out a little bit. I wanted to answer a few of y'all's questions, and I feel like y'all don't really know me unless you went back and look at my old Q&As, and even from then I've changed so much. So yeah, I just want to do a little life update. So I know you're like, Rachel, why do you look like a newborn baby? I haven't done my makeup yet. Where's my makeup bag? What is your ethnicity? And I'm reading the questions from my computer, so by the way. I am West Indian and Asian. To be specific, I'm Jamaican Chinese, Trinidadian. I love where I'm from. I love my ethnicity and all parts of it. If you're West Indian, like this video, drop a comment where you're from, the flag. If you seen my Easter Get Ready With Me and vlog, you know how we get down, okay? You know how we get down. Who is your favorite pastor and what church do you go to? Sorry, y'all, have to make room for the brows. But okay, the pastor that's my favorite, I've never actually like heard her preach in person, but Sarah Jakes Roberts is the first pastor that I ever really connected to and wanted to hear her message, because that's how my whole personal journey started. I feel like I heard one of her sermons on YouTube, and actually I heard it off of someone's Snapchat, and then I went to find it on YouTube, and honestly, it changed my life. I'm not going to disclose the church that I go to just because the name includes the area that I live in, and I don't want to put it out there. How do you endure when you're in a season of trial? So honestly, it's really hard. It's not easy. But I feel like ever since I've started having a personal relationship with God, praying more, being in His presence, asking for understanding about what's happening in my life instead of just like wishing for things. Whenever I get in situations where I'm like, this a test, and I might fail it. You know how a superhero or a spy like puts on their like spy goggles and they're like, I see what's really going on here. That's how I feel, and I feel like I can almost stop time in certain situations when I want to blow up, and you know, it's making me like really depressed or really sad or whatever the case may be. And I just ask God, like, why is this happening to me? What can I gain from this? How should I react? And I feel like by like slowing down the time, like my reaction time, it helps a lot. That's like in the heat of the moment. That's how I endure seasons of trials, because I know everything happens for me, never to me. Somebody asked what products I use for my hair. Honestly, I've bounced around to a lot of products, but the main one that I've always kept consistent is the Shea Moisture Jamaican Black Castor Oil Leave-In Conditioner. That's my homegirl, honestly, because she always keeps me moisturized. Like, no matter what product I use, I always come back to that one. But yeah, and then I'll usually use Eco Styler. It doesn't matter the type, or I guess like the specific gel. I just use that brand for like my edges and all my slick back buns, because I love my slick back buns. Somebody asked what's something that's hard to admit about yourself, and I would definitely say that I'm a people pleaser, and I don't like making people feel uncomfortable, but sometimes I have to make people feel uncomfortable in order to put my needs first and to take care of myself. I saw this tweet the other day, and it was saying how every time you say yes to something you want to say no to, and every time you ignore how you really feel, you're disrespecting yourself. And I thought that was really important because self-respect, baby. Self-love, self-esteem, self-confidence, all what I'm about. And I really needed to check myself because I can't always just live my life pleasing others. And I talked about that a lot in my Protect My Peace video. And something I want people to understand too while I'm at it, let me kill two birds with one stone, is that, you know, I may have all this wisdom and, you know, I can help you guys and give you advice, but I'm still learning along the way too, and I'm not perfect by any means. So don't aim to be like me, don't aim to be me, because I'm still just like you. I just want to do better, and we're in this together. Somebody said, what's your favorite song lyrics you can think of off the top of your head? Focus on the inner me, never on the enemy. That's from Sacrifices by Big Sean. I love, love, love his music. Sean, if you're watching, hello. It's a great song. I love listening to it when I'm at the gym, before I'm going to the gym, when I'm doing something that I don't want to do but I know I gotta do, homework. That's just the ultimate motivational song. Apple Music in the DB. If you feel you can speak on it, what advice do you give young African Americans that feel disconnected from their culture due to the fact that they or their parents weren't born in Africa? Big one. That's a big question. So I don't want to sound ignorant by any means, and I don't have all the answers. I know somewhere down the line my descendants are obviously from Africa. Like I said a few questions ago, my parents are Caribbean, both of them, and I do have a strong sense of culture when it comes to that. For other Black people who feel as though they don't have a strong sense of culture, or they're disconnected from their roots, like the person who asked this question said, I feel like there's culture everywhere, and it's never too late to learn about yours. You can take an ancestry test, you know, a little spit in the bottle. You can ask your parents, you can piece things together, because for a long time, for example, I didn't know how I could be Jamaican and Chinese. But I asked my aunt, and she asked around too, and she kind of put the pieces together of the story, and she was able to tell me, like, it happened during the Boxer Rebellion when your great grandfather went here and everything like that. And I think that's so important to know where you come from and about your ancestors and how you got here. But if you don't have the luxury of doing that, just know that it doesn't make you any less Black, it doesn't make you any less African. And like I said before, there's culture everywhere. There's culture in your home, no matter if that's the traditions that your mom makes or your dad makes, what you do, maybe like every Friday you have a game night, things like that. It's very little things that are special and unique to your family and who you are as a person. It doesn't have to be as big and grand as other cultures that you may not know about yet. So I feel like it's never too late to dig deep into your past, dig deep into where you come from. But also, I wouldn't stress too much about it, just because you are still you and everything that makes up you is still valid. Relationship status, single. Somebody asked me, how has having an intimate relationship with God impacted my life? And honestly, I've been thinking about this recently, and I feel like ever since I've been close to God and made the decision to want to be close to God, that I've had the freedom to be who I really am. And it's something that's so new to me, yet so familiar, because I've never felt like myself like this, if this makes sense. When you are your truest form in Christ, that's your real identity. And I feel like I can be myself. And when I'm growing up, like, with the majority of people, and there's just all these layers that are on top of who I really am, and there's the trends, and there's who I should act like because I'm this color, or my hair is like this, or this is my friend's way of thinking, and I grew up in this area so I should do this, and just all these like other secular worldly things that are like affecting me. Not to say that that's not me, but at the end of the day, I know that I'm so different, I'm so unique, and so are you. And when you take those layers away and you get to the core of who you are, who God envisioned you to be, that's who you really are. And that has been such an amazing feeling to experience. And I know that this is just the beginning. Okay, what's the difference between confidence in who God made you to be versus seeming cocky and arrogant to other people? Love your vids. Honestly, so glad I found your channel. I'm so glad I found you. I love you too. Thank you. But I don't know. Honestly, I don't know, because people just love to assume things about me, which, you know, is their business. But yes, that's all they do. They like to think that I'm, you know, conceited, I'm cocky, just from what I put out there. And honestly, I don't blame them. Maybe if I was them, I would think the same thing. I think that I'm very unapologetic in my confidence, and some people receive that in different ways. But I learned not to really take things personally, especially other people's opinions who don't even know me. That the differentiating factor between being confident and being cocky is when you think that you're better than other people. Having confidence doesn't mean that I'm better than him or her or whatever. I know that I'm proud of myself. I got what I got going on over here, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. That doesn't mean that, you know, I think she's less than me. That's when comparison comes into play. When you're confident, you don't even have the time to compare yourself to other people, because you've invested in what you have to offer. And you're so in love with what you bring to the table that you're not even looking at anybody else's plate. Being cocky really just means that you're always watching other people and using other people as a measure for your success. Somebody said, what's your dream job? How are you so energetic? Honestly, that's a question that I've been trying to figure out for 16 years. I don't know how I have the stamina to keep going acting this crazy, but y'all seem to like it. So the other part of your question, yeah, what is my dream job? I don't really know. I really like to write. I think I'm going to major in journalism. So yeah, I think I really just want to create stories or capture stories. I don't know if that's going to be in the form of writing, making videos. I really just want to be a storyteller. How did you find your inner peace, if you have? Tips on developing self-love and acceptance. How to keep yourself motivated. How to drop a toxic friend. I think these are all great video ideas. I don't have enough time to sit and answer all of these. Inner peace, I'm gonna talk about that one. I'm trying to find inner peace every day. Some days I have it and I feel like Gandhi. Other days I feel like waiting to exhale. It's a big job maintaining your peace, like I said in my other video, but I think one of the major things that have calm me down tremendously is whenever something happens, like a situation where I smell jealousy, I smell disgust, I smell an argument coming on. I remembered that I shouldn't take things personally, and it's nothing that I did or said that really affected them. It's just them projecting onto me in most cases, not all cases, but that's how I feel. And honestly, it's helped me a lot. Like, it's almost been that one thing that you learned in elementary school when it was like count to 10. I was counting to 20 and I was still angry. I was still like I just like clenched up, you know that feeling, and you just getting red and you give yourself a headache. But anyways, yeah, I was still mad. Like, that never really worked for me. But kind of talking to myself, like, this ain't even about you. This has nothing to do with you. You can let them be mad, let them be angry, but really, we going out. Somebody asked me, what do I like to do in my free time? Contrary to popular belief, I have like 3 friends. We like to go to Target. We have a good time there. You know, shout out to the employees. They know me. I like to shop, but we knew that. I like to make videos. I like to journal. I like to watch cooking shows. Not even cooking shows, baking shows. The number one thing I like to do in my free time is to spend time with my family. My siblings are honestly my best friends. I feel like I can say anything, like, without thinking, just like pour everything out, and I won't annoy them. And I feel like that is the best gift that anyone can ever receive. Just somebody's time, somebody's patience, and them caring about what you have to say. Someone asked me if I had any book recommendations and if I journal. That's really funny that you asked that, because I've actually never shared this on my channel, which is weird. But I've kept a journal ever since I can remember. So these are just a few of my journals. I have like a middle school one, elementary school. I think these two are elementary school. And then this is my current one that I'm using for high school. But yeah, I just love to document stories, how I'm feeling, periods of my life where I go through trials and tribulations, and other periods where I'm just so thankful that I have to write something about it. For book recommendations, I recommend The Joy Luck Club because Amy Tan is an amazing author. That book changed my life, changed my relationships with people, and it's just such a good book. From reading, like, if they're a good author, you know that nothing is just a coincidence. So everything that happens is for a reason in that book. Somebody asked, what instrument do you play? I used to play the viola, but I haven't played in a minute because I don't take orchestra anymore. I miss it, but I just didn't have time in my schedule, and I felt like it was time to move on to something else, and that something else was yearbook. And I'm really glad that I did, because again, I love to write, I love to help other people with their writing, and I mean, honestly, it's a fun time. What activities do you do after school? SAT prep. Do your friends judge you for being so religious/spiritual? Well, two things. One, I'm not religious, and then two, I don't have that many friends to be judging me in the first place. I can't be two things at once, and I'm making a lot of life changes, or at least I'm trying to, just to live in a more Christ-like way. It has been hard, and I've experienced a lot of conviction over the things that I used to do with my friends that I feel bad about now. It can be lonely, feeling set apart and feeling like you're the only one who wants to do the things that God has called you to do, or just kind of like be obedient in that sense. But I feel like the more I change and become more like myself in Christ, and the woman God envisioned me to be, that I will attract other people who want the same. Somebody asked, how are you combining speaking/talking about God and the universe? They're the same, but also sometimes can be challenging. And you're so right. I don't believe that there are other gods, and these are my personal beliefs too. I'm not telling you how to feel or what to do, but yeah, personally, I don't believe in any other gods but Jesus Christ, and I don't believe in any idols. I can say that everything happens for a reason, and God talks to us through different signs and different symbols, and I feel like that can even be something as small as like the time being 4:44 or 11:11, or he's communicating with you through numbers or colors or reoccurring patterns or themes. And I believe everything happens for a reason, and I believe there's a greater power, and his name is God. And I think that's what people are referring to when they talk about like signs from the universe and things like that. Do you ever think about your future? There's not a moment in time that I don't think about what I'm doing right now and how that's going to affect me tomorrow and in the future. And that's a blessing and a curse, because I can plan ahead and I can not make such hasty decisions, but also that makes me overthink and not have to live in them. What advice do you have for a sister trying to maintain a busy but stress-free life? I would say be intentional about what you do, and if you make a vow, don't break it. It's really easy to fill your schedule up, but it's harder to fulfill it. So it's so easy to say yes to things, but when it's time to come through, you may not be able to do it because of time or because of resources, whatever. But I think your word should be impeccable, and I think that you shouldn't break promises. So if you know that you can't do it, don't say you can just to be superwoman. So the last question that I'm going to answer is, what is your biggest motivation? My biggest motivation would be who I'm going to be in the future, and future Rachel. If I want her to be powerful, strong, confident, selfless, helping people, using her channel as a platform to deliver God's messages and just make people happy. I don't care about who you are or where you came from, or what you did in your past. what color you are, what type of hair you have. The only thing I care about is where you're going and where you want to go. And I just want to be somebody who's not judgmental, who wants to help people, and who's just a light to those who have been living in darkness. So I think that is who future Rachel is. And if what I'm doing today doesn't contribute to her, isn't something that she would do, then it's not something that I want to do. So yeah, that's my biggest motivation. Thank you guys so much for watching this lengthy Q&A. I don't know, I feel like it's been 3 hours, but you know, maybe I'm gonna edit it and make it a 5-minute video. We don't know. But yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.